So there are some Scarlet and Violet era booster boxes that are making some moves, and specifically, I mainly wanted to talk about Paldea Evolved, because these booster boxes are gonna hit $300 here, seemingly very soon. Right now, lowest listed is $270. So now it is by far the most expensive Scarlet and Violet era booster box. And yeah, there's been a large amount of sales in the past few days, and it just $300 seems pretty soon here. So just want to show you guys that this is happening. These booster boxes are pretty scarce. Like, it's very hard to find them, and you'll see that with the eBay listings I'll show you here. There's really not that many available, and they're all pretty expensive. So TCG player here might actually be the cheapest option. So yeah, just gonna show you guys sales volume, what we're seeing here, supply, and just these are gonna move. So just sort of a last calling here. You want to buy these before inevitably they continue to go up past 300. Probably now's the time to buy. Anything that has recently gone up, I'd check locally for any deals. Paldea Evolved booster boxes included, because seemingly they are going to keep jumping up here. So you can see past few days. Look at the sales volume, been very high. You look at lowest listed 270. There's really not much supply before we get to that $300 mark. So let's just count here. There's 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, and then we hit it. 16 boxes till we hit $300. If you look at sales volume, that's about how many sell or have sold in the past few days. So it could be just a day or two before these hit $300. So yeah, if you want to buy Paldea Evolved booster boxes before they get to that point, you probably want to buy very soon, because just recently there's been a surge in a lot of the older, booster boxes like Sword and Shield stuff, and now seemingly also Paldea Evolved, because it's older technically at this point. I think it's almost 2 years old. I think this came out in I believe June, and now it's May, so it's very close to being 2 years old at this point. And these are moving up. So Paldea Evolved being one of at this point, like, obviously one of the best and most, like, I don't know, it's very well liked in Scarlet and Violet. A lot of people like this set because the artworks and the pull rates are pretty good. Yeah, this is going to be one of the high performing boxes seemingly in this era. And honestly, when you look at what Sword and Shield is doing, and you see Paldea Evolved being right now at 250 to 300, it's not that bad of a buy, right? So I think at this point, Paldea Evolved being almost 2 years old, being one of the more popular sets in this era, buying at this price point, in my opinion, really is not terrible. So if I were you guys, probably wouldn't wait. You can find any of these boxes for 250 or under. I think they're pretty easy and automatic buys, but these are going to move up here to 300 very soon. So an example of just looking at supply and how it's pretty scarce. There is a listing right now for like $240, but it is going to probably get sold out by the time you see this. You can see there's literally 3 available, 10 have sold already. So it's possible this is already gone by the time you're watching this. It probably already is. But just wanted to show you guys that there is this listing, and I guess an opportunity to buy this box. But yeah, it's probably going to be gone. There is a listing here for around 280, which isn't really any cheaper than TCG Player. But if they hit 300, then it might be. There is more than 10 available. Don't know how many exactly they are, but here's a listing from a reputable seller. But other than that, like these couple listings, everything is pretty much market price or like over. So there's really no deals. And you look at the amount of like listings for these booster boxes, there's not that many. Like, all these booster boxes are higher than TCG Player, and they'll probably get sold out when they continue to go up on TCG Player. So when you just see the supply and you really don't find any deals or anything on under market on eBay, it's just a sign of things are going to continue to move up, because just the market's very even on both marketplaces, on TCG Player and eBay. Now, there's just a couple boxes here that I wanted to mention that have been doing some stuff recently as well. So Surging Sparks here has continued to go down in price, which sort of shows that Surging Sparks really, it could come back at some point. But if you look at the volatility with this box it's had in the past month, it's pretty crazy. Surging Sparks has definitely lost its highlight and spotlight recently, and it's really gone to Paldea Evolved. Just seems like a lot of the older stuff is getting a lot more of the attention right now than the newer stuff. So Surging Sparks being a new main set, booster box at one point being around 260, 270 bucks, they have gone down, and now they're all the way at 235. You're able to find some listings on eBay for 230 or a little bit under. So they have gone down quite a bit. Sales volume still, it's pretty consistent, but definitely just the prices have gone down in the past month. And yeah, I just don't see Surging Sparks anytime going up any soon. I'm pretty sure there is also, I believe there was another reprint that was announced or something with, I think it was Surging Sparks. So this box is probably not one you want to buy because prices have been going down. Sales volume still is like consistent, but Surging Sparks is just the hype is not really there anymore. Now, lastly, here there's another box that recently has moved up. Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift in the past a few days has had a lot of sales. Now we're past $200, so it's a bit more expensive now than Temporal Forces. So if you actually look at supply, these are probably going to hit 220 pretty soon as well. Just a lot of these older boxes are moving up. So we can just count here to see how many boxes there are until we hit like 220. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, 12, 14, 15, 20, 22, 23, 24, and then we basically hit it. So like 24 boxes, then we hit 220. So Paradox Rift boxes, you are able to find some of these for under 200 bucks in some stores, some places. You can find them. So Paradox Rift could potentially be a box that you also want to buy because they are going to move up here a little bit. I mean, $20 isn't much, but just any of these older boxes are a lot safer to buy. Now, Paradox Rift has never gotten reprinted, so is it possible it gets reprinted at some point? Yes, because it can still get reprinted, even though some people say that they're going to skip it. It's all up in the air, but definitely the older stuff is a little bit safer because recently we have just been getting these news of reprints and restocks for all the newer stuff. So hey, Paradox Rift, Paradox is one of those sets where people I feel like it was sort of the same thing with some like chilling, not really chilling, but people like to make things seem like they're better than they are. Paradox is one of those sets I feel like was sort of hyped up. Like it was like an overhyped, underrated, sort of talked about set. Paradox I think will be a decent set, right? At 200 bucks, it's definitely not a bad buy, but I don't think it's that great compared to a lot of the other boxes out there, right? In my opinion, I feel like at 200 bucks, I'd probably go for Temporal over. Like I've always said that, right? And honestly, like I know at this point it's a bigger jump, but I would buy Paldea Evolved. At one point, Paldea Evolved booster boxes like just recently were like 230, 240. These were like at 200. I would have spent the extra like 30 bucks to buy Paldea Evolved, but obviously now the price jump is a lot bigger. It's like 70 bucks at this point, so it's a little bit harder to compare. But Paradox, it's a safer buy. It's not the best set. I feel like this will always sort of be just kind of behind all the other ones because there's nothing outstanding in the set that's like crazy. But there's a couple of nice cards that people like in here, but it doesn't show any signs of anything being like crazy in the future. I don't see any of the cards being like, for example, the Magikarp, or just any of those cards in Paldea Evolved that have held very strong and shown to be outliers and just really good and popular SARs. Because what is the most expensive card in the set? I believe it's still the Groudon. It's possible maybe that it becomes like some crazy card in the future. But other than that, the artworks and the Pokemon in the set aren't as popular as Paldea Evolved, and Paldea Evolved does have a lot more of the known and more popular Pokemon. Like there's like Raichu and all those other Pokemon that are more known, and that's why I personally believe Paldea Evolved, when it was 230 or 240, it was worth spending another 30-40 bucks to buy it. But at this point, it's a little bit more expensive. It's a little bit of a bigger price jump, so it's a little bit harder to compare. But if I had to pick, I'd still be buying Paldea Evolved over any of these boxes, to be honest. But that's just my take. I just see Paldea Evolved being a very strong set just because it has a lot more of the known, earlier gen Pokemon that people I think resonate with rather than the Paradox sort of thing. So that's all I want to talk about here. Prices are moving a lot with Paldea Evolved. The other boxes like Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet base are still at around 200. I think Obsidian is still around 220. But Paradox recently has moved a little bit, so I wanted to show you guys this box. So that's all I want to say here. Paldea Evolved, this I really feel like Paldea Evolved is going to be one of the strongest boxes and main sets in this era, and they're starting to move up. So if you can find them mid 200s, low 200s, probably would be picking up now because they seem like they're going to be hitting 300 very soon. So that's all I want to talk about here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Everything has been moving up for the older stuff. Very interesting to see. But yeah, that's all I want to say here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.